Hello everybody, my name is Wayne and I've been in the local rock group, the Flaming Lips, for going on 23 years now. Let me start by saying what a very special honor it is to be part of this important night and to be able to share with you the joy of new possibilities that this moment symbolizes. I sincerely apologize for not being here in person through a clumsy mix-up that was completely my fault. I will actually be in San Diego at this very moment, probably doing a sound check for a show that we are playing in that city tonight. But technology is wonderful, isn't it? But it is no substitute for the real thing, I know. But I assure you that I am with you as much as is humanly possible without using my actual physical presence. When I was first asked to preside over this great assemblage, I was not convinced that I was the right man for the job. You see, I am not technically a high school graduate, even myself. I'm neither ashamed nor proud. I attended class in high school from the years 1976 through 1979. And the class in high school was, back then, in my opinion, an institute that was in decay. And it in no way resembled the advanced, creative, collective it has become here today. And I, back then, rightly or wrongly, felt as though I was learning more from my life experiences than I was from my classes and my teachers. And so as my senior year rolled around, my interest in public schooling diminished as I tried to basically earn some money. And it's well documented that I worked at Long John Silver's and sold pot out of my apartment. Some of you may say that it's a wonder that I didn't end up going to jail. And I would agree with you. But let me say that the students who insisted that I speak here tonight did not make a mistake. They've learned something from their classes and their teachers that is very useful and I think very profound. And I think what they've learned is this. They've learned that we cannot know what we will become, but we can control what we do. So in my case, instead of becoming a drug dealer, I began to pursue art and music and discovered something that I really, really love. And I think what these insightful students see in me is an accumulation of what I've been doing has made me, after all these years, what I have become. And I think these students have learned that we are not what we dream. We are what we do. And that all we have is action. And that we can really only learn from experience. So if we can only learn from experience, what use is all this knowledge? Well, knowledge tells us what to think. And when we know what we think, we take the first step in knowing what to do. It is a combination of thinking and doing doing and thinking that leads to learning, which leads to understanding. And as Daniel Johnson says, to understand and to be understood is to be free. And to be free means you are allowed to fail. Because again, we can only learn from our experiences, and sometimes you have to try things 2 or 3 times before you understand what it's all about. Here's a story. Just 10 days ago, I was in Austin, Texas, shooting a segment of a promotional video. And in between takes, I was talking to Mark Mex, the director of photography. And somehow we began having a conversation about when he was once bitten in the face by a jellyfish. He had been in Acapulco surfing just south of town when he took a spill headfirst into the dreaded gelatinous creature. Stunned from the immediate pain, he swam to shore, running into a hotel that coincidentally housed a small beachfront hospital. The doctor there spoke no English, but it was somehow communicated that he had been stung, and it was somehow also communicated that the only way to relieve his pain was by applying, of all things, urine. Fresh, human urine. In too much pain to ask too many questions, Mark quickly peed into an oblong hospital cup and held the warm liquid to his face, dipping his cheek and his neck in best that he could. The pain persisted, and in a panic, he discarded the pee and asked the doctor, "Well, what now?" And again, the doctor somehow explained that the urine needed to stay on his face for at least 30 minutes. But he had just discarded his own pee, and with frantic insistence, he found the 10-year-old boy he had been surfing with and pleaded for him to quickly pee into this oblong hospital cup so he could, again, apply it to his face. Sadly, the second urine bath was as ineffectual as the first, and eventually the doctor communicated to him that perhaps his only relief would be found in a bottle of strong local tequila, believing, I guess, that if he was drunk enough, he wouldn't care how much pain that he was in. 2 weeks later, the poison finally broke its hold, but it did make Mark ask himself, why the pee antidote? Even other American doctors that he talked to said they'd heard the same thing as a possible cure. So you see, here's the doctors thinking they have knowledge, but they really have no experience. And here's Mark having this horrible experience, but with no former knowledge. It's like throwing a hot dog to try to stop a tornado. You get the same damage done, only now everything's covered with meat and mustard. And so we say, what have we learned? Well, we've learned a lot, I think. We've learned that we should avoid jellyfish no matter what. And we've learned that pain, if it's severe enough, trumps all logic in the human brain. And I think we've also learned that having urine put on your face is probably not as bad as we thought it would be. And so as you go out into the world, beware of those inexperienced fools who offer easy, exotic solutions to painful and complicated problems. Do your best to learn from all your experiences, not just the sting of your failures, but also from the joyful accidents that will occur along the way. But most of all, learn what is the true essence of what you love about life. And if you can, and if you're able to, do what you love to do. For if through your imagination you can see the world and your life as an epic, great adventure, then from each sunrise to each sunset, we can be turning another page in the Bible of our own lives, telling the greatest story that has ever been told and living the greatest life that has ever been lived. So thank you for giving me another great moment in my life, and I wish you all the love and all the luck that there's possible in the world. And I'll see you somewhere out there as we do what we love. Thanks. Goodbye.